Right, guys, recordings in progress. And I'm pretty sure the Zoom lady tells you that shit too. So anyway, guys, with that, thank you for joining me today. I know you guys will be doing a million other things, but just sitting here, uh, dealing with my bullshit. With that, guys, today's topic is food crisis. Obviously, we have a food crisis coming this way. There are situations now that are compounding that food crisis or making the food crisis worse. I think personally, I think it's going to get bad unless it's a chess move by the current administration to look like rock stars. That's always that angle. Either way, I think people are going to wind up feeling this pinch regardless. So, guys, with that, we are going to go over what's going on and we're going to come up with some solutions. One solution, I have to find it. I might, but I will be doing it during the live stream. Sorry, the Zoom meeting. Is there's a church upstate. Sorry, there's the Mormons. Sorry, the Mormons are in Jersey. They have a place in Jersey where they do canning, and I'm going to give you guys a link and the forms, and you guys can visit it if you can. If I make a run to it, I will announce it on the the NYC Preppers Network site. I will announce it on there, and then we'll move forward. Now, we did it once before. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a pain in the ass. We just have everybody meet at a central location in New York City, and then you'll pick up your orders from there. But unfortunately, guys, you will have to pay for your order ahead of time. So again, we're probably going to have to minimize orders if we get too many people ordering at once. So with my shitbox truck, I can only pack so much in it. I mean, car, I can only pack so much in it. But we will be entertaining that option because, again, guys, if the food shortage is going to get as bad as we think it's going to get, then we absolutely want to be ready for this storm. Now, do I think this food crisis is going to turn into a shit hits the fan scenario? I don't think so. I think it will get bad for many people. I think a lot of us are squared away, so we don't have much to worry about. But with that, let's get on with today's meeting. So, guys, we're going to start, I guess, with diesel fuel. Now, the diesel fuel shortage, when I posted this meeting, the diesel fuel shortage wasn't a thing, right? And now, in the last week, it pops up to be a possible shortage of diesel fuel. Now, the possibility is looking more and more likely, but I continue to say possible because it might not go sideways, right? So we have to keep that in mind. The diesel fuel supply shortage, guys, is pretty much all over the world now due to the whole sanctions against Russia and other issues that we've had going on, especially post-pandemic demands. To resupply a lot or restock a lot of these stores in the world, diesel fuel has become the not number one, but highly sorted after commodity. So with that, everybody around the world trying to restock and trying to play catch up, that's the other reason why there's a diesel fuel shortage. Farmers as well, guys. This is where, again, the food problem becomes a problem. Farmers are starting to see a hike in diesel fuel prices for them. Now, normally they see it lower. They get a discount, if you will, on diesel fuel, and their prices they've been higher than those of regular or on the road diesel is what they call it. So farmer diesel, they have their own price, which is normally lower, and on the road diesel is normally higher, and they're seeing that in reverse. So again, guys, if farmers get priced out of diesel fuel, they can't operate their machineries to either plant crops, pick crops. We're definitely going to see less crops being produced, or if in some cases, none at all produced from some of these farmers. So now farmers are not going to be able to produce their crops and or grow their crops or plant them for that matter. Then you're going to have truck drivers who won't be able to deliver whatever is able to be grown or produced because a lot of trucking companies are going to have to reduce their workforce or their fleet, if you will, because they won't be able to put out 25 trucks on the road. They might only be able to put out 10 to 15 trucks. So again, less deliveries, guys, means less food on the shelves. Less farmers producing food is going to be a bigger issue. Mike, go ahead.
So that was a conversation that I had with a couple local farmers. The very first question I asked them was how squared away they were on fuel. And that was probably 2 months ago when the prices were starting to rise. Most of them got ahead of it, and they purchased all of their diesel fuel for the planting season in advance. Thank God. So hopefully most of them have done that, and the tractors running won't be such an issue, but the trucks to and fro the farm may be. So something to keep in mind.
Roger that. Thank you for that. So another good reason why to have people in different places. He lives and surrounded by farms, so he would get the first intel on that. Meanwhile, the rest of us in the city are just listening to what's coming in the news source. So that is a big piece of news there for us. So guys, with that, the other problem with the diesel fuel, this is not so much pertaining to food, but military vehicles, right? They'll probably be less. Well, first of all, military vehicles, they'll be squared away. I think they would probably take the bulk of diesel fuel because we have to keep the national security up and running. We have repair vehicles. For example, if you live in a rural area or an area like Hudson Valley does, and your power goes out because of a storm or something, repair vehicles are going to take a while to get there, especially if their fleet has been cut in half, right? Then you also got privately owned companies that do plumbing, for example, or they fix your boiler, whatever it is. They might not be able to operate if the diesel fuel is being what is it called?
Rationed.
Thank you. Rationed out, right? So then you have emergency vehicles, which is a whole nother ballgame altogether. You have EMS, fire, and even in some cases PD. Depends on what vehicle PD is driving at the time. Fire and EMS is going to be the bigger issues because they run on diesel, right? So the ambulances, at least the ambulances here in the city, the big box trucks are diesel. The small vans are gasoline, right? So you might have some ambulance services still running while others won't be running because there's a shortage of diesel. Now, with fires, that's the bigger issue. At least for those of us that live in
You froze up on us again, Jay.
Am I?
Yeah.
How is it now?
Last 4 seconds was blank air.
All right. How is it now?
Back.
All right. Thank you. So service vehicle guys, fires will be the bigger contender. Why? Because all fire trucks run on diesel fuel. Every last one, and even the Chiefs rigs, right? So they all run on diesel fuel, and they're rationing out fuel. What is a city going to give to the fire service, or what town's going to give to the fire service? You have to keep that in mind. You might become your own firefighter. So with that, guys, you should have that in the back of your head. There's not much you can do other than, like I said before, fire extinguishers and smoke detectors, and looking out for your neighbors as well. It's about the best you can do. But this is, again, if there's a shortage. The shortage is not, some of people are saying it's imminent, but I'm going to stay in the middle of the road. Just know that the possibility of it's there. Also, unemployment's going to go up as well because if a lot of these fleets can't run, they're going to have to put their workers on either furlough or they're going to have to fire them. All depends on how bad this fuel shortage gets. So that's something to, again, consider, guys. Now, that's the trickle-down effect, right? Diesel fuel shortage, lack of food on the shelves, diesel fuel shortage, lack of food being grown. Like Mike said, hopefully a lot of the farmers did that ahead of time. One can only pray. But at least here in New York, we should be squared away. As farmers should be squared away. Anyway, with that, guys, the food shortage from that alone just got worse. If that does happen, that just got a whole hell of a lot worse. Because again, we're seeing companies struggle actually and putting food on the shelves as it is. They're already struggling. They're not getting certain ingredients. We got chickens that are being sick now. We got pork in certain parts of the world that are being that are sick as well, and they have to call them. I know pigs here in the United States right now are fairly okay. Australia and Denmark have two diseases and viruses and bacteria affecting their pigs, and they might have to call them. United Nations, sorry, United Kingdom, they're having an issue with pigs, but it's an interesting issue because they have an overabundance of pigs and they have to destroy some. Like instead of putting them on a boat or some shit and shipping them here, which I know they can, they're going to destroy something like, I don't know, 122,000 pigs. So again, they have an interesting issue, and other people are having pork shortages. They could take that pork, sorry, pigs, and transport them somewhere else. But again, that's a common sense argument for another day. Now, here's where the food problem becomes a bigger issue for everyone, or rather, not everyone. Sorry, it becomes an issue for those who can't afford already. So those that are, and I hate to say it, poor or having financial issues, they're going to be priced out of food long before I would say the food crisis goes into full swing. So we are all watching, guys, the price of food rise. We're all watching the price in fuel, whether that's diesel and gas, rise. We have the lack of ingredients that are not making it to the factories. We have the price of fertilizer costs rising as well. Animal feed is also being priced out too high, and a lot of farmers are complaining about that as well. So with all of that in the mix, guys, and then the diesel fuel shortage, that is like the perfect storm for food being priced out and too high. Now, when food, guys, becomes priced out for a large portion of people who are poor, that's when we're probably going to start seeing food rioting or food skirmishes. And I call them skirmishes because you'll probably see them in pockets here and there throughout the city. We probably won't see a full scale food riot until it gets ridiculously too high, right? For example, butter right now, for 4 sticks of butter in one of those packs, it's like $7 now. Just 2 weeks ago, it was like $4.59, almost $5. But now it's $7. Again, it depends on where you go. If you shop in, let's say, the Bronx or in Brooklyn, you might have cheaper prices on that butter, but nonetheless, you've seen the price of butter or bread or milk skyrocket in the last month. I know that what is that, the EBT cards, the welfare, if you will, they are giving more money to welfare recipients, but how long is that going to go on for until they can't do it anymore, until that gets too expensive? The value of the dollar is dropping as well, so that's also complicating our food issues. Go ahead, Mike.
So I think that we're going to see the opposite of what you're saying. I think that the larger population centers are going to be catered to.
Yes.
And us folks out here in the rural area are going to get what's left. I know the farms are here, but as far as government is concerned, the priority would be the cities. So I think you might start to see that thing upstate, or especially in the upstate poorer communities. I think you'll see that before you see it in the cities. So something to keep an eye out for.
Well, right. So I'm going to build on that. In a few of my videos, I've said that they're going to keep us pacified. They have to keep the bigger cities pacified, right? The smaller areas, I guess, I don't know if the government's like, you guys are on your own. But as far as pricing goes, there's not much they can do about that because companies, if you will, are going to raise the prices, and supermarkets are going to be like, well, fuck. For example, I went to a pizza shop. There's an old school pizza shop. They've been here about 60 years, I think. I was talking to the owner. He's like, I'm gonna have to raise the prices on my menu, and he hasn't touched his menu in 3 years as far as price raising goes. So with that, if he's raising the price, and I told him, listen, I said, it's not like, people are gonna understand. But when he said that, it dawned on me. I'm like, it doesn't matter what economical background you have or where you are in the food
Oh,
chain.
you're freezing on us again.
Right. I'm sorry. How am I now?
You're back.
All right.
Every time you say, how am I now? You're back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, so the food prices is going to be the problem. That's going to be the bigger issue. Bare shelves, like Mike is saying, we we'll probably see that eventually, but we'll be hearing about it from other places like where Mike lives before we hear it in the city, because the city, guys, is a powder keg when it comes to that kind of shit, right? When food starts to disappear off the shelves, and the city is like, holy shit, what are we gonna do? They know what's going to happen next. They know what's coming next. People ride it for a lot less, right? So you got people who are hungry. You can almost guarantee you're going to see a all out food rioting, fighting in the street. Shit.
My biggest concern right now is that they raid the farms themselves or the distribution centers. That's my biggest concern. The grocery stores are one thing when you hit the very end user, but when you hit it at the source, they can do a lot more damage than I think they know they could. Destroying the plants and things like that right in the fields, you know, just trying to grab what they can and run. They don't care. They've got food. Screw you.
Well, if they hit that level, we're fucked.
Yeah. Well, I think you'll see the upstate folks take to the fields and protect the crops that they have.
True. Very true. That is true. I didn't think about that. But Karen also said in the chat, she goes, in history, China starved out the rural areas first. Right, because you want to keep the masses appeased so that they don't blow up.
Well, there's a lot less of us here than there is in the city. So
right.
You know, my entire county has 60,000 people in it. That's a couple blocks for you guys. So
no, yeah, big time. Yeah. So again, guys, the direction this is headed in isn't good. Now, is this meeting to scare the shit out of people? No, absolutely not. This is for us to get ahead of it before it gets too bad, so that we start buying what we need in droves. And we start, I gotta find my phone because I have a couple of things on it, information on there. But I'm gonna probably pop up in a bit. Yeah, but anyway, this meeting, guys, is for people to see what is coming and get ready for it. That's it. This is not for anyone to panic and fucking, oh my God, what are we gonna do? Listen, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this. It's gonna be a rocky road, as we do. John just said in the chat, he says he paid $6.69 for diesel today. He said gasoline is going to cost more than diesel. And he just said, they said gasoline is going to cost more than diesel. I think we're going to hit the $7 mark by summertime. Just as I make my road trip to fucking Jersey, that is, it's going to hit $7. And now I'm like regretting getting this fucking Tahoe. Like I'm really, every day that goes by, I'm like really starting to regret this fucking truck. But in the same breath,
Prius or bust.
Say again?
Prius or bust.
Yeah,
You need that 50 miles to the gallon, bro.
Say again?
You need that 50 miles to the gallon, bro.
Yeah, I know. Instead, I think it's 17. I think on the road it's
13.
It's 25 or 20, 25 or something like that.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's not too bad, but it's still, I want to punch myself in the face for making that decision. But anyway, with that, it'll pass. Hopefully it'll pass. If Biden is doing what I think he's going to do, I think they're going to make us suffer for a little bit. And then all of a sudden he's going to come in like a hero and be like, oh, by the way, we opened up we're giving back the lease to those drilling companies, to drill out in Alaska's some fucking water out there that they want to open up. How do you store gas? Mike, answer that question. I'll be back.
Well, there's a legal answer and then there's other answers. The legal answer is in New York State, I think in the city, you're not allowed to store any more than 1 5-gallon gas can. You want to store it in a can. You want to get ethanol-free gasoline if you can, because it's stable a lot longer than the stuff with ethanol in it. The ethanol additive tends to make the gas gel and break down over time. And you're going to want to add a fuel stabilizer to it. And of course, you want to do it in a cool, dry place away from sunlight and outside of your home. You do not store gasoline inside your home. In a garage, in a shed. John, I agree. I think the fuel shortage is kind of linked to that, especially the diesel shortage with the states that I've been hearing. It's very much like the pipeline shutdown. And it's almost the exact same states that they're talking about having a shortage of diesel in the coming days. So I got some messages from some truckers that the places that they usually fill up at will start limits. I think it was 2 days ago. They'll start limiting the amount of diesel that folks can purchase at a clip. But the gasoline storage, you have to be extremely careful. Research it, research it, research it. Don't just take my word for it. Get on Google and research all you can about gasoline storage. It is dangerous. So it's something to keep in mind.
All
Gasoline.
right, so I have 1 can of gas that I had the local gas attendant just fill for me. That was last year, and I have an outdoor shed because I
Outdoor
noticed it
shed's
was
the
like
place.
it was making my car. I was holding it in the car, and it made my car smell like gas.
Yeah. The gasoline, the liquid doesn't burn, the fumes do. That's why gasoline is so explosive. If you can smell gas, it's dangerous. The fumes are what burns in gasoline. If you put it in a glass bowl and you actually light it on fire, you can see that there's a space in between the fire and the gasoline, because the gasoline doesn't burn, it's the vapors that do. So something to keep in mind. If you can smell gas real heavily, make sure there's no sparks or anything around it, and try and do something to get it in a cooler place. When sunlight gets on those cans, they swell. It heats up and they swell, and it builds pressure in the cans. So you want to keep them way out of direct sunlight.
Okay, thankfully I have it in a shed outside on my patio.
Very good.
I have a really good space, considering I'm in New York City. It's outdoors,
Wait till the meeting's over.
and
Perfect.
I just figured I'd ask
Absolutely.
because I want to get more, but I don't know.
The
So
laws,
I don't
the
know
laws
if
in New
the
York City
attendant.
definitely look into it. Definitely look into it. You're gonna want to add some fuel stabilizer to it. And being that it's a year old, I would use it right away. It's nearing the end of its shelf life, so to speak. Gasoline is something you want to rotate frequently, especially with all the ethanol that they put in it. Like I was saying earlier, it gels up, and it's not good for any engines really when it starts to go south. But the fuel stabilizer will help it stay shelf stable longer.
How much would you put, where would you get this?
The fuel stabilizer you can get at basically any Home Depot or Amazon, anything like that. It's called Stabil, Stabil. And it's a fuel stabilizer. It's just an additive that you dump in your gasoline, and it kind of boosts the octane. So it'll help a lot. It'll help a lot in lengthening the time that you can store the gasoline. But again, at New York State, upstate New York, I know we're allowed 2 5-gallon gas cans. In New York City, I believe it's only 1. But again, research, and make sure you know what you're getting into before you get into it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in New York City, like obviously in apartments, it's illegal. On fire escapes, it's illegal. I know that you're able to have 1 canister if you have a backyard and you keep it in a cool area. But I don't know what the max is. But I know that we had a couple of issues in the past, and the guy had the gasoline canister like in the house, and they were like, you have to keep it outside in a well-ventilated area and all those other mumble jumble. So yeah, whatever you do, don't keep it in your house. That's just you would think it's common sense, but it's not. So I have to say. So guys, real quick, I put the link to the Mormon Cannery, if you will. It's called the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints, the Mormon people. I put a link in the chat, so check it out, and you can order from there. Now, you can order from them, and if they ship it to you, they can ship it to you, but it's like fucking super expensive for them to ship it to you. So it's in everybody's interest to uh, order this and then like have a pickup option. If I'm not mistaken, they have a pickup option, and then go and pick it up. I mean, probably with the price of gas, it's one and the same at this point. But they used to this place here that the link I dropped in it, guys. You used to be able to go and can your own shit. So you used to make up your, they used to leave all the ingredients out for you, and you would go and you would pour it into a can, and then you would take it over to the canner and seal it and done. I still have a bunch here in the closet here and in my storage unit. But now they don't want people in like they used to. So you can order the ingredients, if you will, sorry, off the internet. Now it looks like, according to this, they don't have what they used to have. They have, it looks like minimal, but nonetheless, it's something. They have carrots, onions. Onions looks like it's not being sold. A case of 6, though, for example, potato flakes, a case of 6 is $48. That's not bad. A case of pinto beans, black beans, is $49. A case of white beans, 54. So this is in the case, guys. This is not per can. If you go on, not Instagram, my God,
And these are
Amazon.
number 10 cans?
Yeah, and they're number 10 cans.
Excellent.
And if you go to Amazon, these same number 10 cans, not from this company, but other companies, they're charging $54 for one can. So do yourself a favor and look at this website, see what you need, see what you're going to eat, and order it, man. So now they have quick oats and real oats. Right now, I think we saw rolled oats. Rolled oats are out, but quick oats are still in. They have white rice in a can, but that you can save money on, do it yourself. Vacuum seal the rice in a Mylar bag with an oxygen absorber. Actually, sorry. They have sugar in a can, white sugar in a can, 6 case for $57. You can do a lot better for yourself going to the store and getting sugar that way.
Now that's the church that brought prepping kind of mainstream, isn't it, Jason?
Yeah, I think so. I would say so. They were a big fan of it. Then they have spaghetti bites, guys, and macaronis. Again, by the case, the case is 6 cans. Sorry, $33 and $34. So yeah, they got a lot of shit here. So they also sell Mylar bags. They also sell impulse sealers, automatic impulse sealer. This impulse sealer is really expensive, $451. They better fucking talk to me for that much money. And because you can find an impulse sealer, guys, online for a lot cheaper.
What exactly is an impulse sealer? I've heard of the vacuums, but I've never heard of impulse.
Yeah.
Is that more heavy duty than a regular vacuum sealer?
Sorry. So an impulse sealer is just that. It seals whatever you want. So when you look at your package, you see that rigid line at the top of whatever package it is, whether it's potato chips or fucking I don't know, a stupid device.
You're frozen, buddy.
Bag. Say again. How am I now? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Every time you say, how am I now?
Yeah, come back. All right. So an impulse sealer, guys, if you ever look at a package, you see those rigid lines above the package, whatever that is, potato chips, that's usually sealed with an impulse sealer, right?
Gotcha.
So it's a device that's awesome. I bought it 10 years ago. I bought mine 10 years ago, and I hadn't used mine in 10 years, and then I decided to use it the other day, and then it still worked. So it's cool. It's a simple, guys. You pour rice, beans, or whatever it is in the Mylar bag. You drop the O2 absorber in the Mylar bag, and then you use the impulse sealer, and the impulse sealer seals the bag, and the oxygen absorber absorbs the oxygen.
Excellent.
Done. Right now, you do. It's sort of hard to squeeze out a lot of the oxygen when you're using an impulse sealer. When you're using a vacuum sealer, the vacuum sealer does the double duty, right? It sucks the air out and then it seals it. You can use that as well with a oxygen absorber. And oxygen absorbers too also kill a lot of the weevils and all that shit that's in there. It will kill those things because all of those animals need oxygen, right? So you can double duty it by using a vacuum sealer to get a lot of the air out, and then use a O2 absorber to get the rest of the air pockets that are in there out, right? So vacuum sealers are great, but you got to go for almost an industrial grade, because an almost a high end or industrial grade will get a lot of the air, if not all of the air out. Whereas like the cheap model I have that I thought I was, I was doing some shit by buying a cheaper model and saving money. I paid for it. It's a shit model. I want to beat it with a baseball bat, but
Yeah, I don't
I
even know if mine will seal a Mylar bag. My food saver vacuum sealer. I don't think it gets hot enough to do that.
no, because I know mine does. The last few I had did. It seals it just. I mean, you should give it a shot. You should try. Worst case scenario.
And you're frozen again.
Fuck. How about now?
Back.
Maybe I should keep saying that between every third word.
That's it. How am I now?
How am I now? So, with that, guys, these are things that we should start doing immediately, especially the cannery place, the Mormons church.
I'm
Start
definitely
ordering.
in on a buy from the Mormon church for sure.
Okay, all right. So I'll definitely. Well, me and you'll talk afterwards.
Absolutely.
We're definitely gonna get that started. And also, guys, supermarkets right now. I know that shit's a little pricey, but I know in the how you say, inner city supermarkets or in the ghetto area supermarkets, they still have good deals. So do yourself a favor, go to those supermarkets and buy those. They still have those can deals, the fucking 5 cans for $1. I might be, embellishing that a little bit, but still, they still have good deals. Go to those supermarkets, right? So, example, here in Harlem, there's a couple supermarkets that have great deals on what was it? Chef Boyardee. I mean, I love Chef Boyardee anyway, but that's not the point. They
My
have great.
jam.
Say again.
That's my jam.
Yeah, right. That's the shit, man. So with that, you can still get deals with that, guy. So I would implore you guys to go to the supermarkets. I'm probably saying even today, start going to the supermarket and start buying what you can, start ordering what you can. If you don't have the funds to order, do yourself a favor. And if you can't order from the Mormon church, I mean, do yourself a favor, hit the supermarkets and keep buying shit. If you don't have room, make room. All right. And that's where we at right now, with especially those who live in apartments. I'm taking a lot of shit and putting it in the storage unit now. So I'm trying to make room here for actually a deep freezer. That's another story altogether. If you can afford space for a deep freezer, do yourself a favor and get one, and vacuum seal the meat, guys, or get a vacuum sealer, vacuum seal the meat, put it in your freezer. And that's another method of putting food away, because I think we're going to definitely see meat shortages around with all animals, if you will. I think fish right now is still good, but we will absolutely start seeing that down the line. All right, guys. So with that, I think I covered all that need to be covered. Like I said, guys, with the Mormon church, if I make a run, which is I'm waiting actually to get the Tahoe, which hopefully by next month I'll get it. If not, I can take a run with this piece of shit that I'm driving now and make a quick run out to the Mormon's church. So do yourself a favor, look through the website again. If you can afford it, write down what you think you're going to buy and buy it. And if I make a trip out there, I will definitely let you guys know. The trip is most likely going to have to wait till next month anyway. I got too much shit going on right now. Actually, no, I'm a liar. Probably by the end of the month, the end of May, I'll be making a trip out there. And I'll let you guys know on the website, on the nycprepper.com website, and on the meetup website. I'll let you guys know. And I'll also send out numerous emails as to when I'm making this trip. John said you can also dehydrate your food. Yes, dehydrating your food, guys. If you have a dehydrator, absolutely start dehydrating your food. Vacuum seal that as well. You start with bananas and apples. There's a lot of shit that you can dehydrate. There's books out there. There's websites. I've done strawberry, apples, and bananas in the past. I've even mixed them. You could do that as well. If you can afford a freeze dryer machine. If you can afford a freeze dryer machine, guys, you're fucking good. You are squared away, and you have nothing to worry about other than buying the food to do so. Someone says the air fryer is also dehydrated. No shit. I didn't know that.
Distilling water can be dangerous. You got to be careful because you're removing all of the minerals and stuff from the water. So it's not actually the best for you. You want to try and treat your water and clean your water as opposed to distill your water.
And if you distill your water, guys,
And Jason's frozen.
how am I now?
He's back.
If you do wind up distilling your water, you have to get the minerals. They do sell that online. I think Amazon, of course, Amazon sells everything. They sell the mineral. There's a fucking word for it. I can't think of it, but it's like mineral vitamins for water when you're distilling water, so that you put the minerals back into it. So like Mike said, if you're going to distill the water, yeah, electrolytes, yes, electrolytes, and there was something else. There's actually minerals for it. But regardless, if you're gonna, like Mike said, if you're going to distill water, you got to be careful. You got to put the nutrients back in it. So don't distill the water and be like, oh yeah, I got this shit, because over a period of time, water without nutrients and minerals and electrolytes in it, guys, will fuck you up. All right. So just keep that in the back of your head. That's all. It has a setting to dehydrate. John's saying the air fryer has a setting to no shit. I didn't notice. I don't have an air fryer. I've been looking at air fryers for about a year and like waiting to pull the trigger, but I look like I'm gonna be pulling the trigger really soon. I also have I have an old school dehydrator, by the way. I have God, I gotta look at it again, but I have an old school dehydrator that I'm about to break out this week and start dehydrating.
I do a lot of jerky in the dehydrator.
You can, right? But you got to slice the meat like a certain centimeters.
Yeah, I bought, excuse me, a meat slicer so that I can get it pretty consistent thickness. And we dehydrate a lot of venison up here deer season. So my wife makes some awesome jerky marinades.
Okay. I'll definitely have to steal that from you. I want to try to get a new dehydrator before I do that meat one. Like I said, mine is old school. You know how old school it is? I have to set the clock at, let's say, 3:00 in the morning to get up and switch the trays around. Whereas the new ones, you don't have to do that anymore.
You're frozen.
God damn it. How about now? Am I back yet? No. I hate this.
There you are.
Okay, good. Yeah, anyway, my dehydrator is old, but I'm definitely going to start doing that again as well. Smoke jerky and ham. Oh, he smokes.
Yeah, I want to try to smoke some meats. I've got a little smoker here. That's something that's on my menu.
Okay.
I've done some trout and some salmon in it, ribs and stuff, obviously, but I want to start cold smoking things on this sucker so that they last. They have a shelf life,
Right.
They don't need to be refrigerated.
Well, that's good. That's very good. Costco digital food dehydrator. Mrs. Ty just put a link in the chat. I guess she uses this. Hopefully I didn't fuck up the meeting by clicking this button. Oh, okay. She's got a fancy one. Nice. That's something.
It's
similar.
actually not that fancy. It's a great one. I usually use an Excalibur, which is much more fancy.
Yes.
But this one works extremely well for me at that price. So that's a definite good buy.
But you said Excalibur is like is better.
Yeah, I use Excalibur, but I bought this one because I have a garden and I need multiple ones to do multiple things.
Right.
And I was very impressed with it.
Okay, well I'll get both them, Excalibur and that, because money's no object when the financial system's about to crash. Anyway, yeah. So thank you for that. I'm definitely going to look into that. Yeah, the wife's not going to be happy when I get the dehydrator. She's going to be so mad. But whatever, it is what it is.
Hey, they make the house smell good.
Yeah, it does. But we have a room issue here, and the 90% of the room problem is me and my fucking bullshit. Like my camping gear is everywhere in here, man. It's like it looks like it would be like a prepper's photographer's dream. I got photography shit on one end of the mountain, and I got on the other end. So whatever. All right, guys. So before I smash my fucking internet into a million pieces, I'm gonna go off the air now. Thank you guys for joining me, and hopefully the recording's a lot better than the actual meeting was.
Thank you, Jason. Appreciate you hosting the meeting for everybody.
Thank you for joining us all the way from upstate New York.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Good to meet you guys.
Thank you, and see you later.
Nice to meet you. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.